This movie demonstrates how to use VMware Workstation to create a new Ubuntu Linux virtual machine. From the VMware Workstation main menu, we can create a new virtual machine, create a new team, or open an existing VM or team. We'll click New Virtual Machine. The new VM wizard guides you through the process. In most cases, a typical configuration works just fine. The next screen allows you to choose the method for installing the guest operating system. You can use an installer disk, an installer disk image, such as an ISO file, or choose to install the OS later. We'll choose to use an install disk image. If necessary, you can browse to the location of the disk image file. In the next screen, you provide information that the Easy Install feature of VMware uses while installing the guest OS. VMware uses this information to create an account you will use to initially log on to Ubuntu. On the next screen, you give a name to the virtual machine and choose the location on your computer where the virtual machine is stored. Next, you choose the size of the disk you want. VMware suggests a size for the OS you are installing. The last screen shows you a summary of the virtual machine properties. If you want to customize the VM, you can change the memory amount. VMware again makes suggestions for the minimum, recommended, and maximum memory amounts. You can also adjust processor options, networking options, add additional drives, or configure, add, or remove other hardware elements. When you are finished, you are ready to create the VM. You can choose whether you want VMware to start the VM immediately, to begin the installation, or just create the VM. We'll start the installation immediately. VMware powers on the virtual machine and the installation process begins. To avoid having to wait for the typical time to install an OS, this movie has cut out much of the waiting time. Like any OS installation, a number of files must be copied and hardware must be set up. When the installation completes, you log onto the system using the username and password you provided to VMware Workstation. And that's it. Ubuntu Linux is up and running. One nice feature of VMware is the ability to easily resize the screen. You simply drag a corner of the window to the desired size. The guest OS runs inside the VMware environment. But the complete Linux OS is there. You can use it just as you would if it were installed on a physical computer. Now I'm going to demonstrate the snapshot feature. I create a folder on the desktop. Next, I choose the snapshot option and give the snapshot a name if desired. VMware creates the snapshot. Next, I'll delete the folder I created. Now I'll revert to the snapshot. VMware restarts and the OS is in the same state as it was when I took the snapshot. As you can see, the folder is still there. On the bottom right of the VMware window, there are a number of icons that show the devices connected to the virtual machine. You can connect and disconnect the devices, including the network interface. You can also configure the network interface if needed. So as you can see, VMware Workstation provides an easy-to-use virtual environment with plenty of features.